Hey Zomheads, you know what? There's some awesome zombie shows on TV right now. One of them, of course, is The Walking Dead. Everybody knows about The Walking Dead. But I feel like there's another one that people don't really know about, and that is Z Nation. I love Z Nation. So let's talk about Z Nation today. If you haven't seen Z Nation, I hope you stick around. I really hope you stick around because I want to tell you all about this awesome show. So don't shut me down. Stick around. I have to say I love some Z Nation. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to say that I haven't been recording much. I've been really sick. I am starting to feel a lot better. I've been wanting to do the topic on Z Nation for quite a while, and I just haven't. To be honest with you, the reason why I haven't is because I wanted to have some Z Nation stuff up there when I talk about Z Nation. I feel really weird like not having Z Nation stuff up in my house. You can find like magnets on eBay, but I want posters. Like I want some posters of Z Nation. Unfortunately, the cons that I've gone to in the area that I live in, because I work a lot and all that, they haven't had any Z Nation cast come to them. So I haven't gotten any autographs. I've not met any of the cast, and I really want to. If you do know of a way that I can get Z Nation poster, please leave a comment below. I have contacted Syfy. I am waiting for a response, trying to get some stuff that I can put on my wall. One of the things that they do sell, like they sell hats and t-shirts and stuff like that, but I am really just trying to find like some Z Nation pictures and posters like I have back here of The Walking Dead. So what is Z Nation? Well, Z Nation is different than The Walking Dead, and I don't like mixing The Walking Dead and Z Nation together because they're totally different shows. But maybe for this video, I'll allow like the exception for myself just to do some simple comparisons. It's only been on for 2 seasons. It's coming back for a 3rd. When you watch season 1, you will be 3 years after the Z's came. And the premise of the show is way different than The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, you watch a group of survivors travel really without no other purpose other than survival. I mean, they don't have a purpose. Robert Kirkman, very early on, made it clear when they went to the CDC that there was not a cure. And pretty much all the other CDCs were shut down. But in Z Nation, this is not the case. Actually, they show you throughout your journey that there are people trying to find a cure. And in fact, they were doing experiments on prisoners, so far that we know, only prisoners, at the 3-year mark. I think Dan, the zombie man, just got home. At the 3-year mark, and one of my favorite characters, Murphy, who's played by Keith Allen, he actually was in prison, and he was one of the people that they forced this experiment on. And so at the time that they were doing the forced experiments by injecting the experimentees with the zombie virus, a horde came, a bunch of chaos ensued, and anyway, the Murphy got bitten like 8 times and he survived. And so the show is about survivors taking Murphy and trying to get him to the CDC, and the different stories along that line. So there is hope for a cure. There are people actively searching for the cure. There are people that are still in place. There are reserve units still in place. And so that's really different from The Walking Dead, where The Walking Dead showed that everything is just disintegrated pretty much 3 months after the zombie virus, which is not the zombie virus because they don't have zombies in The Walking Dead, but after the virus took place. One thing I love about Z Nation is its sense of humor. It doesn't take itself too seriously like The Walking Dead does. The Walking Dead is definitely a hardcore drama, but Z Nation is lighthearted and funny, and it makes you chuckle under your breath. So I'll give you an example. There was this one episode where they were trying to go into a pharmaceutical company, and they're looking through binoculars, and they're like, oh my God, look at this. And the zombies had actually gotten into the Viagra. it's just hilarious. It's not a slapstick. It's not so hilarious that it is absolutely off the wall absurd. It's just a little hilarious. So there is some drama there. There's definitely relationships that are formed, but they're not, the whole show is not as serious of a drama as The Walking Dead. It's whimsical. Even the names of the episodes are whimsical. My Zombie Baby's Daddy, that's whimsical to me. And Zombaby. And yes, they are willing to do things that others might not be willing to do, like zombie babies, like humans and zombies having sex. I mean, it's not, they don't show them having sex, but they imply them having sex. So, anyway, it's just a wonderful, dark comedy, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It makes you laugh. It makes you upset because, like other shows that we know of, characters aren't safe. You will lose a character. You will never know when they're coming. Like the first season, we lost so many characters that I mean, a couple of them I really liked, and then boop, they're gone. So it kind of follows along that same idea that you never know who's going to leave. Their content is interesting. It's like The Walking Dead, they talk about cannibalism, and they talk about other issues like power, issues of power, issues of the weaker not being able to survive. But Z Nation kind of touches on those issues a little bit sooner than The Walking Dead did. It took a long time for The Walking Dead to really talk about cannibalism. Z Nation, they addressed cannibalism in the first season. And so Z Nation is, I want to say, I feel like it's a little bit ballsier, a little bit rawer. Some of the topics they hit on could be seen as a little more risque, like using women as bait, and also cults, like cult leaders. How do they perceive the zombs and the apocalypse? So there are some definite differences between The Walking Dead and Z Nation, and I love both shows. I feel like Z Nation hasn't gotten the following it deserves because it did air originally after The Walking Dead, and so maybe the limelight was stolen by The Walking Dead. I don't know. And also, I feel like some people didn't give it a chance because they had already been exposed to The Walking Dead, so they're probably expecting a show like The Walking Dead, but that wouldn't be fun, right? You don't want to watch two shows that are just the same. No, this one is, I don't want to give everything away because I just think it's so cool, this show. You gotta love the characters. Okay, so let's talk about the characters. So remember that this show is 3 years after the apocalypse happens, and that they are transporting Murphy, or the Murph, to the CDC because he's the only known person who has survived zombie bites. And so there's several lieutenants and sergeants that come and go. One of the ones that really stands out is Lieutenant Roberta Warren, who's played by Kalita Smith. And I might not be saying that right. Then you have Citizen Z, which he is a geeky computer nerd. He does a really good job at playing him, who's isolated at Northern Light. And you have to watch it to find out what Northern Light is. But he has the ability to tap into computers and to make things happen to help our survivors through their journey. And he's played by DJ Qualls. Then you have another character, Mac Thompson, who's played by Michael Welsh. And he is a really good character who sticks by Addie when she joins the Sister of Mercy camp. Again, you have to watch to find out about this stuff. There's two characters that I just love, though. One of them is 10K. 10K is a really good shot. His goal is to kill 10,000 zombies, and he uses anything he can to do that. Yes, he does use a long-range rifle, but he also uses rocks and bottle caps and things like that. And Nat Zhang plays 10K. There's a real touching scene between 10K and his dad that I always think about when I'm watching his character. He lost his dad. Then the other awesome character is named Doc. And he's not named Doc because he's a doctor, but he kind of is because he's like a big fan of pharmaceuticals, if you know what I mean. He's like an old hippie. And he's played by Russell Hodgkinson. I love that character. The actor does a really good job. And we have Addie Carver, who is Mac's girlfriend, Anastasia Baranova. Those, I really can't talk too much, I feel, because if you haven't watched it, I don't want you to know who's dead and who's alive. But there's some very colorful characters in the series. This team is a ragtag team. They're very colorful characters. There are bad guys. There are action scenes. There are, man, I just can't say enough good things about this. And it's listed, if you look it up, if you Google it, it's listed as a comedy horror drama. I don't know of too many shows that can mix successfully comedy and horror and a drama. And I don't know too many shows that can do that. So here is the cover of season 1, which I already showed you. And then the back. And then season 2. Now I heard that they are going to be making a 2-hour mini movie for the beginning of season 3. And that is going to go back pre-apocalyptic to talk about how our characters got to where they got and about the fall. Because remember, it started at year 3. By the way, there is one thing I want to show you. Do you see this right here? That's Murphy, right? He's a survivor. He's the only survivor of the zombie bite. Oh, and this is Murphy later. He starts metamorphizing. He starts changing. That's Doc. That's the Lieutenant, Warren. Murphy. That's Cassandra. Addie. Oh, that's 10K. Recently, it was rumored that we were going to lose Keith Allen, but we didn't, and he is still going to be our Murph. Love you, Keith Allen. And I always worry that Doc and 10K, you know, if they're going to be okay, but you have to watch it. You have to watch it and see if they are. I know that Desperate Dan, he does really like Z Nation much more than The Walking Dead. And this isn't to put any show down, because I love The Walking Dead. I'm a very true fan of The Walking Dead, and I'm a true fan of Z Nation. The two totally different shows, each stand up proudly in their own right. I don't really laugh too much with The Walking Dead, but I can get a really good chuckle out of Z Nation. And so for that reason, I give them a 2 thumbs up. So like Dan the Zombie Man wants to jump in here and tell you what he thinks.
Yeah, Z Nation, man. It's like realistic. I'm talking realistic, man.
So that's for Dan the Zombie Man. You like Z Nation, right?
Yeah, I like it because we're trying to take this guy to somewhere. All I can say is that if you were in that situation and you had to like take the only cure for humanity and you were going the wrong direction, I mean, Ice Station Zebra is not helping. You know what?
It's Citizen Z.
What's the guy's name?
Citizen Z. Okay, Dan the Zombie Man, here's your Z Nation videos. Go have at it.
I'm gonna read all this stuff. I'm gonna in between my working. No. I love DrLola. She's such a beautiful person.
But you do love Z Nation.
That's what you call.
Matter of fact, I think you like Z Nation better than The Walking Dead now, don't you?
I like Z Nation way more than The Walking Dead.
All right.
I kind of attached to it. The zany part is reality. What's the other show called again?
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead is like I just keep on doing the same old drone. Give me a bite. Drone. Kettle drum. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, so
same
what's
Z
Nation to you then? Because I know
Z Nation is more like Jimi Hendrix, baby.
Alright, let me, alright.
Enough said. That's all
Yeah.
I can say. Look, I can only give you my opinion, and that's all I can do. Get out of my way, dog.
Thank you for
God
talking with
forbid.
us.
Thank you, dog.
TV
kiss, TV kiss.
TV kiss, TV kiss. So there you heard it from Dan the Zombie Man. He is a big Z Nation fan. If I'm watching The Walking Dead, he doesn't really sit down with me. But if I have Z Nation stuff on, he definitely sits down and watches. So what I'm trying to say is that you can't compare the two. They're totally different. When you sit down to watch Z Nation, just think about it has some dark humor in it. And it does talk about situations differently than The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is more of a drama. Z Nation is quirky, it's fun, it's lighthearted, it's not as serious. It does make a lightheartedness out of some serious issues, such as cannibalism and cults. I do like some of the things too about the show. It talks about, like, they call their zombies like puppies and kittens. The puppies and kittens are coming. Give Z Nation a chance. If you guys are interested in episode reviews, I am willing to do that. I could go through the episodes and do like recaps. So leave your comments below, like if you watch Z Nation or you love Z Nation or you're thinking about watching Z Nation, and let me know what your thoughts are on it. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I just want to say I appreciate all of you guys that have subscribed to my channel. It means a lot to me. We are a Zom Nation, and us Zomheads will survive. Don't forget to put some Z Nation in your life. Bye! Because we are a Z Nation. Z Nation songs.
Let's talk.
And remember, we are a Zom Nation, and the Zom Nation will survive.